Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Irrelevant Sports. I'm your host, Marissa.womack. If you didn't know, now you know. This is, I don't know what episode. I've kind of lost track at this point, but I am here with so you can give a little intro.
Hi, I'm Sophie Bengoechea. That's my last name. And yeah, most people are just like, Sophie. I'm on the beach volleyball team here. I'm a junior, and I am majoring in criminal justice with a minor in law and society. And I'm from San Antonio, Texas. Position-wise, there's like defender, blocker.
Yeah.
I'm 5'6" on a really great day, so I'm the defender. I'm in like the back of the court. And I've been playing indoor volleyball. Like, I started my volleyball career in 3rd grade, and then I started playing beach in 5th grade. And pretty much once I started beach, I decided that's what I wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kept doing like school indoor volleyball for like the social aspect, but beach has always been my main sport since then.
Yeah, and I feel like training-wise, like, it's easier to... But also, I don't know, because, like, I feel like going from sand to court can kind of be, like, hard on your body.
It can definitely be really hard on your body. I stopped after my sophomore year because I had a bad injury with my ankle. But it was definitely... It's always fun to go from beach to indoor because you feel like you can jump super high and, like, you feel really cool. Yeah. But it definitely is really hard on your body to go back and forth.
Yeah. What were you in indoor?
I was a center.
Oh, you were a setter. That's what I was. That's what Kelly was too.
No way.
That's so
fun. I love setting.
Such a fun. And like, you always got to touch the ball.
Yeah. There's like always a touch. That's why I loved it.
Yeah. Even if it was like over there, I'd be like, it's mine.
It's mine. Just let me take it.
Okay, so how was like the recruiting process like here?
The recruiting process, so for beach volleyball, there's not a lot of money in the sport yet, so they have limited scholarships. So before the new NCAA rules that came out like 1 year ago,
for like NIL.
And for recruiting too.
Okay.
So the new rule is that like you can't talk to a coach until you're like so after your sophomore year. But there were girls when I was getting recruited like committing in 8th grade. Yeah. And so when I committed, I started my recruiting process second semester or late in my freshman year, and then I committed my fall of right after Christmas, my sophomore year. And it basically, I had a really great experience. My parents kind of always knew I was going to pick this place because of the relationship I had with the coaches. Like, all the phone calls were always long, and I was having a great time, like, talking to them. And I knew that in Texas, like, there's not a lot of beach volleyball. So I knew that, like, I wanted to find somewhere with, like, a family, like, kind of. But I committed during lunch hour, and I called 2 other coaches before I committed, being like, sorry, like, I'm not going to come, like, thank you, whatever. And then I tried calling my coaches. Neither of them picked up. And so I left a voicemail being like, hey, I'm good guys. Wait, and then before they even like responded to me, I like posted like and they always say that they're gonna play the voicemail on my senior day.
That's so like, that's so funny.
I know.
Like, imagine just being like in lunch and all your friends are just looking at you and your coaches aren't.
I know. I like went to the back. I was by myself when I did it, but that morning, I was just like, that day, I was like, I'm tired of this. Like, it was so stressful. I was like, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah. How many, like, other, like, offers, like, recruiting processes did you have?
I had not a bunch. I had a few other offers, from schools, just kind of all around. I visited mainly schools on the East Coast. Yeah. And schools that kind of made more sense scholarship-wise. But I was, there were, like, a few schools that I was between, but South Carolina just kind of checked all the boxes for me. Like, beautiful campus, like, the school itself, like, being in the SEC, I wanted, like, a football, I want the that tradition, the whole thing.
Yeah.
The girls, when I came here to visit, they were all super amazing to me, super sweet.
Yeah.
Coaches, like, it all just kind of aligned for me. Like, the other ones didn't check all the boxes like these did. Like, South Carolina did.
Yeah. If you know, like, Volleyball and, like, Texas, like, if they had, like, teams, like, for beach volleyball, too, or no?
They don't.
Okay.
So, actually, UT posted that they were supposed to be getting a beach volleyball program, but they haven't, like, updated anyone, like, when that's going to be established and stuff. But it's actually the fastest growing sport in the NCAA. So, after the, like, Olympics, the women's team wins the Olympics every year. So, it's, ever since then, we've just been, like, growing, like, so there's new programs every year, and they grow so fast, and, like, become great so fast, so it's really cool to see.
And I feel like just, like, having coasts, like, all around the U.S. is super easy for, like, even people for doing it, like, amateur-wise, and, like, just, like, for fun.
It's awesome. It's such a great sport. It's such a great sport. Like, you can just go and be in the sun. Like, there's music. There's, like, just being outside. You know, just all of it. Like, people of all ages love it. You know? And
there's always, like, annual, like, beach volleyball tournaments.
There is.
Like, people, like, make it, like, a fun.
Oh, my gosh. There's this tournament in Florida. It's called FUDS. Florida or Alabama. I'm not really sure.
They're the same.
But, yeah, same thing. But it's, like, this giant, like, 6-man tournament. Everyone dresses up, and everyone's just, like, it's just basically a giant party, but, like, all, like, you know everyone there. Like, it's such a fun event. Like, that kind of thing. Yeah. So there's a lot of those, which is really cool.
How's, like, because y'all's team is kind of small, so, like, how's the difference between, like, a 6-man versus, like, a 2 when it comes to, like, competition? Because you guys, like, solely do 2s, right?
Yeah, so in college, it's only 2s, which is harder because there's just a lot more court to cover. Yeah. But it's great still. I think makes it more competitive and makes it, like, viewing-wise for viewers, like, it's a much better sport to watch, I feel like. Yeah. When it's like
faster, like
it's faster, like it's really cool.
Yeah. And, like, I feel like you as a player, like, you
you touch the ball every single time.
Yeah. And, like, with your partner, like, you get so close with them.
Yeah.
And, like, the trust, it's like, I feel like
it's really cool. Like, the best pairs, like, it's based off their chemistry, basically. Like, it's based off of how well they know each other, they trust each other, so it's cool in that aspect. Yeah. That really matters, like, as a human being, too.
Yeah, I feel like volleyball is, like, definitely the most uplifting sport.
It's not
no matter what. Like, going from, like, soccer and track and, like, flag football to, like, volleyball, even indoor was, like, such, like, a big difference in the atmosphere, because, like, you go from screaming at everyone in soccer and, like, just being very aggressive to, like, after every single point, no matter what, like, you got it. Like, you bring it in. Yeah.
It's like, people are always who don't play beach volleyball, like, we high five the other team every time we go under the net, like, because we do side changes every single points. People are like, it's weird that, like, you guys high five each other so much, and then you're all also high fiving the other team, like, what's going on? Yeah. But it's just kind of like how it is. Like, it's a respect thing. It's really cool. Yeah. I do love that part about it.
How are, like, the rules different from, like, indoor to beach for, like, someone who doesn't?
So for indoor and beach, so in indoor, a touch off the block doesn't count as, like, a touch. So you get 3 touches. Yeah. But that block touch doesn't count. Yeah. So you get 4 technically if you, like, count that touch, but for beach it does count. So as soon as the ball touches the block, you have 2 touches to get back over. They're also a little more strict when it comes to hand setting. Like, you can't, it has to stay on the, like, plane of your shoulders. Yeah. You have to face where you're going to set every time, especially if you're going to set it over. You can't open hand tip. You have to use your knuckles. I know. And then
I think that's about it. I loved tipping it.
I know, it's so fun. Yeah. But it makes sense why you can't do it, because there would just be no chance to pick anything up at that point. Yeah. So,
because there are literally 2 people.
Yeah, there's literally 2 people.
But I feel like, honestly, like, this summer at camp, I, like, played with a lot of people, and, like, we would do, like, 4-on-3 or like 6-on-2 or whatever. Like it was just like so like it shouldn't work, but it always worked so much better.
Yeah.
Like it's just like so much easier to be able to cover your section and be like, all right, like this is my fault if I'm doing it, so like I just need to go
it's super it's nice. And like only having 2 people, like it's like you both have to be on the same page. Like you both have to be competing. And like I kinda like how you can always like it can always be more of someone's fault, like someone can't do as well. But like at the end of the day, like it's a partnership and like you're just as good as your partner. Which I do really like that aspect of it.
When it comes to like the team and like games specifically, is it like tennis?
Okay.
Where it's like
I've heard it's like tennis, but I don't know how tennis works. But
it's like each pair gets a different pair.
Yeah,
so everyone plays.
Well, we do. Not everyone on the team will play. So we have. There's 5 pairs. Play the other school's 5 pairs, and like the number 1 pair of each school will play each other. And the number 2 pair.
Yeah, that's like tennis.
Yeah. Okay then. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I just didn't know because I was like, I feel like 2 people out of like a full team.
Yeah.
That would, like,
No.
To like not play, but no. Yeah, that does make sense. Okay, getting into your stats. It says played in 5 recorded matches in the exhibition, winning 4 of them. That was your freshman season, and those are my dogs again. What is the exhibition?
The exhibition is so the 5 pairs that play. We do a 6th pair that it's kind of for the people that are more on the brink of the lineup and like kind of working towards that. And it doesn't count for anything like for the actual match itself, but it's just to like get more reps and so that more people can play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And then last year, 14 starts in the lineup, went 7-7, won 2 matches against ranked opponents. I didn't realize that Georgia State and I don't even know what FGC is.
FGC, Florida Gulf Coast.
Okay. That makes sense why they would be top. Yeah, I didn't even know. I'm from Georgia, and you would think. And I didn't know that we even have a team.
Yeah, their team's really solid. Like, they have an incredible program. Really great coaches, really great girls. They're kind of like, I think we consider them kind of our sister school in terms of, like, whenever we play them, like, it's very, like, it's always super competitive, but then after, like, we all talk and hang out. Like, it's very, competitive, but then off the court, everyone's super nice to each other. Like, it's sweet. They're a really sweet team.
And how, like, do you know how the season was, like, overall, like, your sophomore year? Just, like, as a team perspective, like, not just you.
Our team, we had a decent season last year. We had, we didn't do as well as we wanted to. I think we just had some circumstances. We faced a lot of adversity last year within program, just dealing with a lot of different things. And I think we grew a lot as a team. Like, we grew a lot together. Grew closer to our coaches, like, built like an incredible amount of trust that I think a lot of teams don't have now, especially just kind of with the circumstances that we had. Like, there was some like hard stuff that went on, and I think that going into this year, like, it's gonna be so much better just because of the chemistry within our whole team and our whole program now.
Yeah, and that was my next question. Where do you see the team in the future?
We have some incredible new players this year and players that have been here. We've gotten 3 transfers. 2 grad students. One's played beach at Pepperdine, played beach at LSU, and then another one is from College of Charleston, and she's a junior, so she's my year. And then our freshman class is just incredible. One of them's from my hometown, so I grew up kind of playing with her and knowing her, and she's like all super sweet and just incredibly athletic and driven, and it's really cool to see. Yeah, like everyone's really excited about what's gonna happen this year. So,
and I know Pepperdine, and CFC, and I knew some of the beach volleyball players at CFC because whenever I would go to the beach, like because my mom, she lives there, but we would go and like we would just play with them. Like, they would just come to the beach, and I'd be like, But it was fun. But yeah, I can see it going a lot further.
Yeah. We have it's gonna be a hard schedule. Like we open at Florida State. I got some good teams, but it's gonna be really exciting. Like, we're really excited this year. I think everyone has a really good feeling about it. And just kind of coming back. We started our first week of practices last week, and everyone's on the same page, competitiveness wise, and like just like all around, like we have the same goals.
Yeah. So getting a little bit out of sports, you said like your degree and like your minor and everything, like criminal justice and law, like when you were being recruited, like was that kind of like something that you always knew that you were gonna go into?
Oh no. Okay. Not at all. I still really don't know what I want to do that much. I actually so I came into my freshman year not decided, and I started in political science, and then this year transferred to criminal justice. I was thinking about because don't we have a really good pharmaceutical program here or something like that? Like I was thinking about something like that, or I was kind of all over the place with it, but then I came in during COVID after all of the George Floyd riots, like all that stuff, and I had taken a big interest into social justice, and so I kind of figured go with something that I'm at least interested in and kind of go from there. So, criminal justice, and I love all my classes, because everything I'm learning about is exactly what I want to talk about. Like it's exactly what I want to be hearing. So it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, right now I'm taking one of my minor classes for my law, and it is philosophy. It's so boring, but my professor's so sweet.
Yeah.
But my other classes are contracts and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's my type of law isn't so much that side, which is interesting seeing. But outside of academics and athletics, people forget sometimes that you are in college. So what is it like to keep up with a social life?
It's hard. It's something I struggle with a lot, honestly. I kind of was raised to be an athlete and be good at my school. This is complex because my dad played professional golf.
Okay.
He played professional golf, and he kind of raised me to be a professional athlete in that sense. And so he always told me there's three things: there's friends, school, and volleyball, and you can only have two of them, and it has to be school and volleyball, which is crazy. And I love my dad. I get he's the whole reason I'm here, and I'm able to be playing my dreams at my dream, doing my dream. Just doing my dream. And so coming to college, I had close friends at home, but I never really went out. I never prioritized friendships. I never that kind of thing. So it's definitely been a big learning curve for me. And I think I've gotten it down better these days, but it's been hard. Because especially I'm tired I'm tired after practice, and I've got schoolwork, and it's super easy to stay in the bubble of just our team and the team boyfriends and that kind of thing. So I've been trying to challenge myself to make friends outside of it, and not just within the athletics community, but also
NARPs too.
everyone.
No, yeah, I feel that is probably one of the biggest things that I hear just from collegiate athletes, of just being I know a few that have joined sororities, but they can never keep up.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah. Even just with schoolwork, it's crazy.
And especially having kind of your degree, I feel the work is all reading. Sometimes
it's a lot of reading.
So being able to sit down and taking time to do that, but then also prioritizing because you guys do have long days that a lot of people don't realize, like, they're just like, oh, like, they're just collegiate athletes, like, they're just getting the scholarship and they're just playing. Like, you guys, like, have to wake up for, like...
We have lift at 5:45 a.m., and then I go to class, and then I go to practice for 3 hours, and I come home, and it's 4 p.m., 4:30, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I'm tired.
Homework.
I know.
Yeah, no, that's really hard. And I feel like that can kind of go into your mental health, and you are public about this, just like with your Instagram posts and everything like that. So if you want to kind of jump into that.
I have kind of struggled with my mental health since college. It's when I started, like, at least understanding it and, like, understanding that I had it. We had a little bit of a mental health crisis within our team at last semester, and it really opened my eyes to how much there still is that we can do that, like, hasn't been done.
Yeah.
Which was really shocking to me in the fact that, like, there's been a lot of public deaths within NCAA athletes, like, ending their lives. And it's every school across the U.S. And we're actually really lucky that we have a mental health team in place. We have a pretty nicely sized staff that, like, they're awesome and they're all incredible. But I actually was talking to Dr. Katie O'Neill. She's the head of SEC, like, health. And it's not even required for most places to have a therapist on staff. And, like, a lot of the times if an athlete expresses that they're like, struggling, they're sent to, like, an outside source. Like, and which, that's crazy. Like, I've had, like, this has been at my fingertips. Like, I see Sarah Knoll, she's involved with my team. Sarah Knoll's the therapist that I see, but she's, like, involved with our team. She's like, the whole staff is involved with our team. Like, there's so many girls on my team. We all see therapists, like, whether it's for sports, whether it's for, like, things like that. But I think that like, there's still a long way to go with it, but, like, we are definitely on the higher end of resources here, and there's been some really big steps made. We actually, so with everything that went on within our team, it kind of opened my eyes to, like, what we didn't have. And so last semester I was working with the head of the mental health committee, whatever group, and our, like, sports administrator, or overseer, and Judy Van Horn, who's in charge of, like, Title IX, like, the director of Title IX, and she does, like, internal affairs, that kind of thing. And we've actually created emergency action plans. So we have, like, a plan now if something were to go wrong, if there's a crisis. Like, we didn't have that before. We have created on the app, the Teamworks app that, like, all the athletes have, the top pin file is now like, an emergency contact list. Like, we didn't have that before. Like, all of the names of the therapists, like the USCPD, the crisis line, the mental health line, like the Trevor hotline, which is awesome. Because there was instances where, like, we were trying to get help and, like, we didn't know who to call because, I mean, they gave us all the papers at the beginning of the school year, but we're not actively putting. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Like, whatever. And we're working to get probably starting next year. We're gonna start, like, actual education. Like, there's no education or training, and that's for most schools, like, for athletes or staff. And, like, I know that, like, our assistant coach had to, like, go to outside sources to, like, seek education for mental health and, like, just kind of be prepared in case anything were to happen. So now it's going to be mandatory for everyone, which is awesome. Like, such a huge step. But yeah, it's just, like, no one really talks about it. And my kind of whole theory right now is, like, me struggling with it, like, that's something that's been a huge part of my life, and I deal with that stuff every day. And I think that more people talking about it, like, it gives other people validity. It gives other people, like, it makes them feel like they're not less alone, like, that kind of thing. So I really, like, encourage people to talk about it and, like, kind of be open about it. And, like, it's normal to have feelings. It's normal to be sad. Like, I think a big part of the problems in our world is because people aren't willing to show that, you know? Like, no one's alone, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I, like, on my other podcast, I'm very, like, open. My first season, I talked about, like, mental health and, like, everything like that. And then I talked about, like, recently, like, the progress that I've made of, like, going from how I was in high school to, like, how I am in college. Because, like, sophomore year of high school was not the best year for me. Like, there were a lot of issues that I had. And, like, I didn't see a therapist until my senior year of high school. But, like, going to therapy even a year and a half after I should have, like, still takes something off of your chest. And I feel like with, like, you guys as athletes, like, everyone looks at you guys as, like, perfect human beings.
Yeah.
And, like, you guys always have your shit together. Like, you never, like...
Yeah.
Like, really...
That's what it looks like. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And so, I feel like just having those conversations and, like, even, like, right now there's a guy on the Michigan football team. He posts TikToks all the time. And they're the saddest things ever. And they're, like, literally about, like, how he's, like, depressed and, like, everything always seems like he's on top of, like... Everyone makes him seem like he's on top of the world. Yeah. He, like, makes this good play, but then he goes home and he's, like, sad.
Miserable,
Yeah. And everyone, like, jokes about it in the comments. And I'm like, this guy is, like, literally reaching out.
It's, like, a cry for help at this point. Yeah, I get it.
But
especially with men, like, for him to be doing that is incredibly brave. It's incredible.
Yeah. And for a like, he's on the Michigan football team. Like, he was in the Final Four. Yeah. But, like, really, like, nobody talks about it in, like, the collegiate world.
It's crazy. And it's crazy to me because I know so many people who struggle with it and have to deal with it. And also a lot of my teammates kind of really didn't know a lot about mental health until they kind of, like, I've been very public about it, so I kind of made them learn about it. But, like, it's, like, no one's educated on it. Like, no one has any idea. Like, and if you don't know what it is, like, you don't know that you're struggling. Like, you don't know that it's normal. Like, all that kind of stuff. Like, you don't know to reach for help and stuff. So,
or, like, how to. Because they, like, briefly talk about it in high school, but it's never to, like, an extent of, like, going from high school to college and especially becoming, like, a bigger athlete and, like, having more on your plate and, like, having to constantly succeed. Because I'm sure, like, especially, like, on, like, higher, like, college football stance.
Yeah.
Like, if I know some of the guys on the team have literally gotten death threats.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is insane. And, like, if they are already suffering with, like, mental health issues,
it's so
like,
scary.
they don't know about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's just a lot that I'm...
Yeah. And then also just the pressures of, like, to play and to be in that starting lineup, to be, you know, the expectations, like, you don't want to let people down, you don't want people to think badly of you, like, the expectations of your coaches and, like, and the pressure that you put on yourself, like, if you're competing at a collegiate level, like, you're competitive and you're hard on yourself, like, you put that pressure, and I think a lot of people, like, it definitely was a problem for me. Like, I've always put an insane amount of pressure on myself, but I usually could succeed through that. And when I came to college, it was just a whole nother level playing field. And it was just a lot harder to deal with those pressures and succeed through them. So,
and you're, like, working out constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're sometimes killing your body. Like, when it comes to, like, how you eat, like, you have, like, a certain guideline, but even, like, when Doty's closed, like, it completely changes. Like, everything does change. But, I'm glad that you spoke. Like, I'm glad that you did make that post. I feel like it was very, like, courageous of you.
Thank you.
And to just, like, put yourself out there.
Thank you.
But that goes into kind of what, like, are the biggest stressors when it comes to, like, off season or during the season?
Biggest stressors when it comes to season, it's every day. I feel like, it feels like it's a make it or break it. Like, if I have a bad practice, I'm done. Like, I'm not in the lineup, and that's never the case.
Yeah.
I also dealt with, like, the stressor of, like, the performance aspect, like, in competition, too.
Yeah.
Like, kind of, like, experiencing a lot of anxiety and self-doubt, which I hadn't really experienced till college. And then just, like, a big thing that no one talks about is eating schedule. Like, crazy hard. That was crazy hard for me. Like, just, like, how much to eat, when to eat.
Yeah. Because you guys wake up and work out.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's hard because you usually have to eat before you work out, but then, like, you don't want to throw up.
Yeah. It's so hard. I eat, like, a banana or a go-go squeeze before my workout and then come back, protein, like, get a breakfast in. And then, like, some people go straight from their 12:55 class to the 1:15 practice.
Yeah.
Like, when are they supposed to eat? And, like, eating, you don't want to eat too close to practice, especially when it's really hot, because then you might puke.
Yeah.
Like, just things like that. And so that's definitely a stressor, like, without
thinking.
More of, like, a subconscious stressor that I'm always just kind of thinking about. And then just time management, like, always.
Yeah.
Like, I think for me, it's really, like, I tend to not be as productive at night because it's after practice, I'm, like, tired. So something that I've, like, tried to be more consistent in is, like, after weights. Like, I get home at 7:15 and I try to, like, stay up and, like, get a bunch of work done then. And then I go to my classes, then I go to practice. And that way I at least can feel productive in that.
Yeah.
And the sleep schedule, that's another huge thing. Like, we're waking up this early, but we also have a lot to do.
Yeah.
And, like, but we want our bodies to recover. Like, there's just a lot of things, like, smaller things that go into it that you don't really think of until you get here. And luckily, people talk about it.
Yeah.
There's always people telling you, like, hey, make sure you're sleeping, make sure you're eating, like, that kind of thing. We're lucky, like, we have so many resources here that are incredible, but, like, just to figure that out for yourself and, like, what works for you is so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah. Well, and, like, also, like, class schedules, because, like, you really don't pick your class schedules. Like, some of you do, but, like, I know for, like, most of the football department, like, they meet with their advisor, and their advisor does it for them.
Oh.
And, like, even I think for, like, basketball too, but it's, like, because they have so many different, like workouts throughout the day, and they have to have this certain amount of, like, classes that they have to take in order to graduate. Like, I know some seniors have to, like, wait longer to graduate just because they, like, can't take as many classes.
Yeah. We're lucky, like, our coaches are very persistent that school is the number one focus for us, which is really awesome. We actually had the highest GPA in athletics last semester.
Yeah, I saw that you made all
slay. Yeah, maybe I did. But we're lucky that our coaches are, like, that's always the first priority. And so we do have a lot of girls that have to kind of go in and out of practice, like, early and late. Especially because some girls have some really freaking hard majors that, like, there's only one class offered. Like, you don't have, like, there's no, like, you have to take that class. You have to take it now. So we're just lucky that our coaches are very, like, their whole focus is, like, yeah, you're here to play volleyball, but we're also here to set you up for your future.
Yeah.
To, like, get you ready for that. So.
Yeah. And I feel like this is one of the more, like, relaxed sports when it does come to, like, all of that. Because today I was watching a video for a class, and it was, like, on, like, NCAA, like, policies and, like, how they've changed over the years. Because, like, in 2013, like, they didn't even have enough money to cover the full scholarship. Like, some of the players were paying, like, out of pocket to even play, even though they were bringing, like, all the revenue.
Yeah.
And things like that. And, like, even, like, the food, like, they didn't they would go play and win and, like, do this huge game, and then they'd go home
you have to
be
go
hungry.
Yeah, they have to go get their own food after,
And so now, like, I feel like just looking back, like, there's been so much progress.
Oh, there's been so much progress, especially, like, in recent years, like, NIL money. Like, I think that's incredible. It's incredible that we can do that now. And I think it's been so good for so many people.
Yeah.
And especially for women's sports.
Yeah.
Like, they're making some money.
Yeah.
They're making some
And
money.
I feel like
Good for them.
It's easier for women, too, because they can get, like, jewelry deals.
Yeah,
and
the jewelry
makeup,
deals, the makeup, the skincare. I love the
clothing,
skincare.
yeah.
Like, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Athletes become the influencers.
Yeah.
Which is very deserved. Like,
Yeah. I also feel like it's kind of like helpful when it's athletes in terms of like image, like the like seeing different body types and different people and different. You know, I think that's really another awesome thing to have. That's a part of it too.
Is there anything else you would like to add before concluding?
It's hard to be an athlete, but I don't regret it ever.
Yeah.
I love it. And I'm sure once I'm out, some people are like, oh, you'll miss it so much. But, like, I also feel like I'm going to be like, oh, free time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much I miss this, but it's
You
a
miss
love-hate
the
relationship.
community.
But I'll miss the community. I'll miss the competition of it. But I'm so glad I do it.
And, like, playing for someone, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
It might be one to miss it. But also, that does play into, like, you have played it for someone.
Yeah, I also could just be like,
Burnt.
yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how.
But I'm so glad it's been, like, such a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
For sure.
A good, empowering sport.
Oh, yeah.
To be in.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Well, that is everything for this episode. Thanks for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me.
I don't know when the next episode obviously will be next week. I don't know who is going to be on it. Maybe the next one actually will be Leah Boston.
We'll manifest it. We'll manifest it.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. But yeah, that's everything for this episode. Goodbye, guys.